Welcome guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video we're going to do 3 best of 1 standard ranked ladder games. Currently at, I believe, Diamond 3, so just trying to climb the ladder a little bit here. Made some changes here to my Boros Mobilize deck, and before we get started, there's going to be a link in the description for the full playlist, also all of my other playlists including best of 1 standard events, and also a full deck list on moxfield.com, as well as all the win rate statistics at untapped.gg. There's also a link to my other channel where I'm a writer of science fiction and fantasy, and then there's a link if you would like to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content and if you like this kind of content. Okay, so let's take a look here. I've had to shift the deck a couple different times just to sort of move through different levels of diamond. And I did end up putting back in the Kutzil's flankers just as a concession to the graveyard decks that are able to go off as early as turn 4. So it's not as fun as having all the other synergy in the deck, but I felt like it was maybe a necessary step just to kind of be competitive. I did also take out the removal suite with the Burst Lightnings and the Lightning Helixes to replace it with a combination of 2 copies of Get Lost and 2 copies of Abrade to kind of cover my bases for dealing with artifacts and enchantments. And then I also added 2 copies of Requisition Raid, which I've really been pleased with, and I've been able to get like 3-for-1s where I'm able to get like an enchantment, an artifact, and buff my team all at the same time. So this has just been a fantastic addition to the deck. I did also switch out the sharpshooters with the Neighborhood Guardians. While I do like the sharpshooter, I found just kind of an increasing number of situations where I needed to be able to push through damage and protect like my Voice of Victory to make it able to attack, which is something that the Guardian does a lot better just by giving +1/+1 triggers whenever a creature enters with power 2 or less. And so that just kind of made me want to shift back to the Neighborhood Guardian over the sharpshooter, at least just to sort of test it out. And I'd like to have both, but I just couldn't find the room with still meeting all the removal requirements and sort of graveyard hate, and well, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and jump into a couple games. I do think that like a more synergistic version of the deck with less concessions for removal and dealing with graveyard hate and stuff like that is more fun to play, but I also do want to try to hit Mythic with this deck, and so we'll see what happens. Okay, so opening hand looks good. We do have mana, we have stuff to do. Happy to keep. I also added in a full playset of Hinterland Sanctifiers in the 1-drop slot, and I've really been liking them. Just because we're taking so much damage with our land. So to be able to kind of recoup some of that life lost is really nice. But what I wanted with the sort of split between the Abrade, the Get Lost, and the Requisition Raid was it was able to give me essentially 4 different ways that I'm able to deal with artifacts, 4 different ways for enchantments, and then I've got the 4 Kutzil's flankers to be able to deal with graveyard. All right, let's go ahead and get a white, and then we'll just do end of turn Frontline Rush is the plan. I think I'd rather do Frontline Rush over Abrade here, just this way we can kind of get going with our Warleader's call. If he wants to shock this in response, guess that's a thing he can do. Although this, with the River Pyre Verge, makes me think that he's running like the Scalding, oh, whatever those things are called, the 2/1 that also sort of doubles as a bounce spell for adventure. All right, now I think we just want to go for Warleader's Call here. Like again, we could Abrade this, but I think we're just going to do this instead. Taking a little bit of damage here. But we have some removal, so it's also nice having access to cards like Get Lost against Screaming Nemesis that doesn't deal damage to it. Double Firebrand is kind of interesting. All right. So I guess we could hold up removal here and maybe just wait for beginning of combat. I think I like attacking with... I guess what we could do is we could pump and then push in for 6, drop him to 9, and then hope he can't just like end the game for us next turn. And then we can just kind of clear anything and then attack through. The problem is, you know, I think we can pretty effectively hold this off just by maybe just getting in with 1 and at least making his blocks a little interesting. And that way we can hold removal. So I think I'm just going to attack with 1 here. Okay, Hellkite is pretty good. So question now is if we want to use Abrade or Get Lost on the Hellkite, because that will represent 4 damage. Otherwise, we could try to deal with like the Hired Claw. I think we probably Get Lost the Hellkite since he's tapped out. Prevents a little bit of the damage. Here he can sack a Firebrand and then push through for 3 more damage. Yeah, so maybe it would have been better just to like pump and push or hold both of them back. Okay, Flanker is a nice pickup. Do also have Requisition Raid. We could blow up one of these artifacts, but then it's not quite as mana efficient as dealing with the Abrade and the, I guess pumping for 1 just seems pretty weak. So I think I like Flanker here. The problem with Flanker is that the Firebrand deals with it very cleanly. So maybe, yeah, I think we're at 7. Man, if there's a way that I could Flanker and Requisition Raid before this thing untapped, that'd be ideal. But I think if I'm planning to use Abrade, I might as well just go ahead and Requisition Raid. It's not great, but I think that pumping this up might just be what we have to do here. Yeah, and now I think I probably want to abrade the Hired Claw just to get it. Otherwise, I suppose we could abrade the Firebrand, but that just seems... I mean, clearing it would allow us to get Flanker going. I think the Hired Claw represents more damage. If they want to trade now, I think that's fine because we just want to get the burn out of their hand. Okay, that's a nice pickup because now we can flanker. Actually, never mind. I was thinking we still had the pump in hand. Although I suppose with Warleader's Call, it has an extra point of toughness, which is nice. Okay, that's a nice pickup. Yeah, now realizing we would have had the extra point of toughness, we could have held it until their combat step there. This is pretty nasty. They can go Firebrand for 4 points. If they have a shock, then they can just get there. Man, Osier Axonil. Haven't seen that one in a little while. Zero and one. Okay, I do like this opening hand. We do have stuff to do. A piece of removal. Some nice 2-drops. Okay, opponent looks like they've got shock. So here we could hold the Abrade if we want to. We could just play out Voice of Victory. We could also just Abrade the Challenger right here and now, which I kind of like. Yeah, I guess if they don't have the Lightning Strike, then potentially we can get this thing to reset. Since we're on the draw here, I do sort of like Abrade sort of slowing down the pressure, giving us a little bit of time. And then we can go like 3 into like a 4. I kind of like that a little more. I think I'm just going to actually Abrade here. We could have waited until they untapped, but it's possible that they could have prowessed their way out of it with 2 spells. I think just slowing down the pressure just a little bit feels good. Okay, Hinterland is great. I think it's worth going for. So instead of just going for a Sanguine Evangelist, I think we go Hinterland into Voice. We are going to take a little bit of pain here, but I think it's worth it. If they have the shock, I suppose they could use that. But at least this way they don't get the pump from the slick shot. Lynx is pretty nasty. Guess we just voice and then hold Frontline Rush and go for like the double block. It's a little bit risky, but otherwise I suppose we could just go for Evangelist. This is a better use of our mana. We also can control it here by attacking and seeing if they want to block. Otherwise, the problem is if they just don't block and end up just taking it, then we're kind of in a little bit of a tough situation because then we're just facing down 6, possibly more damage. So we might have to try to wait and block here, even though it's not ideal. If they have like the lightning strike, they could get us. So I feel like if we attack right now, they don't block. Yeah, I think we have to hold. Alright, so now we could use Frontline Rush to keep it alive. Kind of will make it so they won't attack with the Lynx, but it does keep our Voice of Victory around. I think we probably need to do it. Okay, they're still going for it. So they are going to get the double trade here, but I think we have to take it. Yeah, I wonder if we were just supposed to play out the voice on turn 2 instead of abrading. Maybe that was the better path. Being on the draw is a little tough, but that might have been better. Now if they don't draw land here, we can potentially Requisition Raid to buff this up so it doesn't die. If they have the land, we're just out of luck. Okay, they've got the kill. Whew, kind of a tough session. 0-2 so far. Yeah, I've been kind of cycling back between like Diamond 4 and Diamond 3 with this deck, so I'm hoping to be able to keep this deck and not have to change to a different deck and just kind of maybe make another shift. But it has been, yeah, kind of rough going. Okay, this hand looks good, hopefully. Let's lead out with Foundry. So this could be like the Tifa deck maybe, or not sure what else. Oh, okay, it's the either mono green or red green Delirium. I guess let's get an extra white here. I don't think it really matters. Now we can offer the trade, and if they go for it, then we can Frontline Rush and make it into a 5/5. We could do this end of turn. I kind of like doing it now, though, for the extra pump. So I think I'm just going to do it. This also helps out Headliner a little bit. And it makes our Requisition Raid a little bit stronger. So I think I like Requisition Raid into Headliner. So I think I want to use Headliner for sure on Sentinel this turn. So let's get red. And then we could get the artifact. The problem is we wouldn't have enough mana to do that plus Headliner. So maybe we just leave the map token. And let's, since we got to sack the Headliner here, let's just put this on the Guardian. So, yeah, I'm not super excited to trade Guardian with just a random Baloth. I think we just set up here. Curious how much they're going to push with. All right, so if it's just the 4/3, I think we do trade with a flanker here. And voice looks pretty good. Now I think we maybe buff a token to push and hold back with our Guardian. Can offer the trade here. Okay, they're just gonna hang out, makes sense. Very nice pickup. All right, so I think we want to get in definitely with the voice, probably everything here if we can. We're going to get a total of 4 triggers, so I think 1 goes there for sure. Probably 2, 3, and maybe 4, and just we don't attack with the Guardian. So I guess if we attack with everybody here and we put one more counter here, we'll have, we can make one of these a 2/2 and one of them a 1/1. Push with everything there at 6. They have to block at least 2 of these and some number of these. So what do their blocks look like? Probably here. We could leave this as a 2/4 to make it blocking it a little bit tricky, and then make this a 4/4 so it's a bit harder to block. I suppose they could like double up. I think this is actually, yeah, I think this attack is actually okay. So I think we definitely put a counter on the Guardian, making it a little bit harder, forcing a double block, and then could make one of these a 2/2. Or I guess we could make the voice into a 3/5. Huh. I think I like making one of these a 2/2 actually. That should do it. Yeah. Yeah, I like having the Neighborhood Guardian back in. I definitely feel like it really helps push some of the damage through. So let's take a look at the stats real quick. All right, overall the deck is 52% win rate, 61% on the play, 46% on the draw. Now, the big caveat is there have been 72 versions of the deck over the entire time I've played it. 134 wins, 122 losses, and in this most recent version, it went 2-4 is kind of rough. Yeah, it's been a little bit back and forth here on the on ladder, but I think, you know, looking back at the deck, you know, again, I tried to put in some of the tools to fight like the turn 4 wins by like Reanimator, and then just finally having some answers to the artifact deck, because artifacts is a really tough matchup. So bringing in Requisition Raid, Abrade has been kind of part of that plan, and then Get Lost also is good against Authority of the Consuls, which is a complete beating against this deck. So I will say that I've been really impressed with Requisition Raid. So impressed that I might even increase like the number beyond 2. It just feels like incredibly powerful every time I have it. Even if it's just pumping the team with +1/+1 counters, that still feels really strong. So yeah, I think that it's just a good set for this card right now. Yeah. Other than that, you know, I guess in the matchups where you don't have Reanimator, Flanker is always like okay. It always does something. It's flash. It has a decent power. It can gain life. It can exile graveyards. It could even be like pseudo Wrath Protection. Yeah, that's kind of where the deck is right now. Would love your guys' thoughts, and we'll see you in the next one.